There is a garden that keeps its magic hidden until the rest of the world has gone to sleep, tucked behind a wall of old stone and ivy. And tonight, just past midnight, its gate is standing quietly open, waiting only for you. Let yourself settle now, wherever you are. If you're lying down, feel the weight of your body sinking into the softness beneath you. If a light is still on nearby, this might be the moment to turn it off, or to lower it as far as it will go, so the dark can hold you the way it holds this garden. There is nothing you need to do now except breathe, and listen, and let your mind loosen its grip on the day. Take a slow breath in, and let it fall away as you exhale. Take another, even slower this time. There is no story to keep track of here, no plot to follow closely, only a garden, waiting quietly in the dark, and a slow walk through it that asks nothing of you but your presence. Let's begin. The gate is old iron, soft with rust, and it swings open without a sound, as though it has been oiled by moonlight itself. Beyond it, the garden unfolds in the dark, an all-quiet, gentle sprawl of hedges and flower beds and winding gravel paths, all of it lit not by any lamp or torch, but by hundreds and hundreds of tiny points of soft golden light, drifting slowly through the air like a low, unhurried constellation brought down to walk among the flowers. These are the garden's fairy lights, though not the kind strung on wire. These float and drift on their own, rising and falling gently, as though breathing, each one no bigger than a fingertip, glowing warm amber and soft gold, scattered through the dark like something between fireflies and falling stars caught mid-fall. You step through the gate, and the gravel path shifts softly beneath your feet, cool and pale in the moonlight, each small stone catching just a hint of silver from the sky above. The air here is thick and sweet, layered with the scent of night-blooming flowers, jasmine, heavy and warm, mixed with something cooler and greener, like crushed mint or wet grass, and beneath it all, the deep, mineral smell of damp earth that has spent all day soaking in sunlight and is only now, in the cool of night, breathing it back out. You inhale slowly, letting the scent fill you, and something in your chest loosens, unclenches, settles. The hedges rise on either side of the path, dark green turned nearly black in the moonlight, trimmed into soft, rounded shapes that seem to lean gently inward, as if listening. Between them, flower beds spill over with blossoms you can only half see in the dim light. The pale ghost white of moonflowers, fully open now, though they close tight during the day, their petals wide and trembling faintly as if breathing in the cool night air. Deep violet blooms nodding heavy on slender stems, small white stars of jasmine scattered like scattered salt across dark green leaves. The fairy lights drift among them all, settling here and there on a petal or a leaf, glowing a little brighter for a moment before lifting off again to drift elsewhere, unhurried, endlessly patient. You walk slowly, matching your pace to the soft, floating rhythm of the lights around you. There is a sound here too, faint and layered, the whisper of a breeze moving gently through leaves, so soft it barely counts as sound at all. The occasional low hum, almost musical, that seems to come from the lights themselves, or perhaps from something even smaller living among the flowers. A hum like a held breath, warm and round. Somewhere nearby, water moves softly over stone, a small hidden fountain perhaps, its sound so gentle it blends into the hush rather than breaking it. Everything about this place seems designed for quiet, a garden that reveals itself only to those patient enough to walk slowly and quiet enough to listen. Your fingers brush against the velvet softness of a rose petal as you pass, cool with night air, slightly damp with dew already gathering. A little further, you touch the smooth, waxy leaf of a moonflower vine climbing an old wooden trellis, and one of the small golden lights drifts close enough that you feel, for just a moment, a faint warmth radiating from it, like the last gentle heat of a candle held at a careful distance. It doesn't startle when you're near. None of the lights do. They simply continue their slow, drifting orbit through the garden, entirely unbothered by your presence, as though you, too, are simply another quiet part of the night. The path curves deeper into the garden, past a low stone bench worn smooth by decades of quiet visitors, past an old sundial standing silent and useless in the dark, its purpose set aside for the night in favor of simply existing beautifully beneath the moon. You pause here for a moment, resting one hand on the cool stone of the sundial, watching as 3 or 4 of the small lights gather close, circling slowly around its old bronze face like patient, silent guardians of something that no longer needs measuring. Further in, the garden opens into a wider space, a soft lawn bordered by tall, old rose bushes heavy with blooms that seem, in this light, to glow faintly from within. Deep red turned to soft maroon black. Pale pink turned to something like the color of the inside of a shell. Here, the fairy lights are thickest, dozens of them drifting low over the grass, rising and dipping in slow, looping patterns that seem, if you watch long enough, to form a kind of unhurried dance. No music you can hear clearly, just that same faint, warm hum, layered now from many small sources, blending into something like a lullaby with no words. You lower yourself onto the soft grass, cool and slightly damp beneath you, and simply watch for a while. The lights drift closer as you settle, curious in their slow, unbothered way, circling gently above you before drifting on. One rests, briefly, on the back of your hand, weightless and warm, glowing a little brighter for just a moment, as though acknowledging your stillness, before lifting away again to rejoin its slow, drifting kin. You feel your own breathing settle into the same unhurried rhythm, in and out, slow and long, matching the soft rise and fall of the lights around you. Above, the sky is a deep, soft indigo, thick with stars, and the moon hangs low and full, casting everything in a pale, silver-blue light that mixes gently with the warm gold of the fairy lights, the two glows blending into something soft and layered, neither one overpowering the other. The scent of the garden grows even richer here, jasmine and rose and something green and cool. Beneath it all, mixed now with the faint mineral smell of dew settling on grass, on stone, on petals. You breathe it in slowly, again and again, feeling each breath pull you a little further from the day behind you, and a little deeper into this soft, glowing stillness. Further along the lawn, half hidden beneath the drooping branches of an old willow tree, you find a small stone fountain, water trickling softly from a worn, moss-covered spout into a round basin below. The fairy lights gather here in greater numbers still, dozens of them drifting low over the water's surface, their warm glow reflected and doubled in the dark, still pool, so that for a moment it seems as though the garden holds two skies, one above, thick with stars, and one below, thick with slow drifting gold. You sit at the edge of the fountain, trailing your fingers gently through the cool water, sending small ripples out across the reflected lights, watching them scatter and slowly reform. The sound of the water is soft and constant, a low trickle that seems, the longer you listen, less like sound and more like silence, given a gentle, musical shape. Somewhere close by, though you never quite see it, something small rustles once through the undergrowth, unhurried and unafraid, and then falls still again, folded back into the garden's deep, unbroken quiet. Your eyelids feel heavier now, your whole body settling into a soft, pleasant weight, sinking into the grass, into the cool night air, into the slow rhythm of this garden that seems to exist entirely for moments exactly like this one. The fairy lights continue their slow drift around you, dimming very gradually now, one by one, not out of any urgency, but simply because the night itself is aging, deepening, settling toward its own quiet center. You rise, slowly, and continue your unhurried wander along a narrower path that winds beneath a canopy of climbing roses, their thorny vines arched overhead into a soft tunnel, blooms brushing gently against your shoulders as you pass. The fairy lights here are fewer now, more scattered, each one glowing a little softer, a little slower in its drifting, as though the whole garden is settling, minute by minute, into a deeper hush. The scent beneath this canopy is thick and sweet, rose and jasmine layered together into something almost like a physical weight pressing gently, pleasantly, against your senses. At the path's end, you come to a small clearing ringed by low, moss-covered stones, and at its center a patch of soft clover spreads out like a green, star-scattered carpet beneath the moon. Here, the last of the brightest fairy lights have gathered, a dozen or so drifting low and slow above the clover, their warm gold glow the only light besides the moon and stars. You lower yourself onto the soft clover, feeling its coolness against your skin, and lie back to look up at the sky. The stars are thick and quiet above you, scattered without pattern, without hurry, simply existing the way the whole garden exists, unbothered by time, unbothered by anything at all except the slow, gentle turning of the night. The fairy lights drift lower now, closer, some of them settling softly onto the clover around you, glowing warm and steady rather than drifting, as though even they are growing tired, ready to rest. Your breathing has slowed to match the stillness around you, long and even, each exhale a little longer than the one before. The soft hum of the lights has faded to almost nothing, just the faintest warm murmur beneath the deeper silence of the garden at its most quiet hour. The scent of jasmine and rose lingers faintly around you, softer now, gentler, as though even the flowers are settling towards sleep alongside everything else. One by one, the fairy lights begin to dim. Not suddenly, not all at once, just a slow, gradual softening, each small glow fading a little further into the dark grass, the dark leaves, the dark, quiet air, until only a handful remain, scattered faintly among the clover like the last few embers of a fire that has burned gently all night and is only now, finally, ready to rest. The fountain's trickle grows softer too, or perhaps it simply feels softer now, folded into the deeper hush that has settled over the whole garden. The moon has shifted slightly in the sky, its light a little paler now, a little further along its slow arc toward morning, though morning itself is still many hours away, distant and unhurried. Nothing you need to think about now. Your body feels heavy against the soft clover, warm despite the cool night air, held gently by the stillness around you, the way the whole garden has been held, all night, by its own quiet magic. The last few fairy lights drift lower, dimmer, settling one by one into the grass around you, until their glow is barely more than a suggestion, a memory of light rather than light itself. The hum has gone entirely quiet now. The water has slowed to something barely audible. Even the faint rustle of leaves has stilled, as though the whole garden, hedges and flowers and old stone paths, has finally settled all the way down into sleep, and you are settling with it, breath by breath, thought by thought, the last small lights fading gently into the dark clover around you. There is nothing left to notice now, only the soft weight of your own body, resting, only the last faint scent of jasmine on cool night air, only the deep, unbroken quiet of a garden that keeps its magic hidden until the rest of the world has gone to sleep, and tonight, at last, has folded you gently into that same soft, waiting stillness. Rest now. The garden is quiet. There is nowhere else to be.